Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The money line, we are live. It's UFC Vegas 73. I am AJ, joined by my guy, Mike Finch. What's up, bro?
Man, like Creep said, just counting the cash from last week. Had the 4-leg parlay smash come through. Glad some of my friends were able to cash that. I hope you did as well. It was a fun night of fights, AJ.
Yeah, man. Last week we brought the fucking fire out. We'll recap it. First things first. Let's talk last week's dog lock. On my end, Brian Battle, 14 seconds, bro. Cleaned his clock. That was more impressive than I would have ever imagined. That was awesome. And then, obviously, you killing it with the fucking parlay lock, the first of its kind. But hey, if it's plus money, baby, you know it's worth attacking. We're the plus money snipers, dude.
I like it, man. Yeah, before we went on live, AJ's like, I'm looking for these dogs. I'm like, bro, I found 4 favorites I really liked. I put them all together, and look at that. They all hit. So both strategies are good. You got some favorites. You parlay them up. You got some dogs. You bet them straight money line. We can make money either way, AJ.
Let's go. I'm ready to fucking cash, man. We got Dern versus Hill in the main event this week. I do want to talk a little bit about what happened last weekend. First thing, we got to bring up Rozenstruik and Almeida. The breakout fight for Jailton Almeida, but like we all predicted, it was going to be a one-sided strangulation, and that's what we got. Rozenstruik is a dangerous stand-up fighter, but you get a guy with the jiu-jitsu knowledge of Almeida as well as the takedown capabilities, and then you give him the athletic specimen, like the John Jones superhuman build. Like he's kind of built like Jones, but just buffer, stronger on the mat maybe even, and strangles Rozenstruik without much issues. I like, too, with Almeida. He doesn't rush anything. He's patient. He takes his time, wears on you, and then he gets you where he wants you and finishes the fight. Rozenstruik was no match on the ground. We already knew that. This was a big mismatch, and the odds totally reflected that. Jailton was a super confident pick for pretty much everybody, and for good reason. He gets a W, and now he comes into the top tier of the heavyweight division. The question is, Mike Finch, Jailton Almeida is a smaller heavyweight in the 230 range. How does he fare? Let's say you throw him a big wrestler like Curtis Blades.
That's an interesting matchup. I actually like that one a lot. Yeah, the one thing you could say, like you compared him to John Jones grappling, his jiu-jitsu is going to be better than John. It's just that the wrestling is going to be tough with these big, strong heavyweights. John Jones obviously moving up from 205, but you can imagine how tough it would be to wrestle with John Jones at heavyweight. So those are interesting matchups, right? It might come down to his striking, which is pretty good. He was 12. So yeah, above him, you got guys like, Derek Lewis, Jairzinho. Obviously we saw how that went. We got some Tai Tuivasas and some people who you can imagine there's a pathway to go and submit them, right? That the wrestlers, that'll be more interesting. We're going to have to do a fucking tape analysis and go deep on those, because I do think the wrestlers are probably the competitive fights for Jailton.
Agreed. Because striking, we still know nothing of him as far as how is he going to look on the feet. Like early, you see moments. At times, I feel like it just doesn't look, I don't know if the word is steady or whatnot on the feet. It's like, Rozenstruik standing up still is dangerous with Almeida, who shot fast in the fight. I'm concerned that, if you run him into a Curtis Blades and he can't get him down, that trouble will lie on the feet for him. But I'm not saying he couldn't strangle Curtis Blades, because I think if anybody's got the jiu-jitsu to tap out these high-level MMA wrestlers, it's definitely going to be Jailton Almeida. I'm curious how he fares moving up, though, and I think Tai Tuivasa is the name he called. Do we go Tai Tuivasa and throw Tai to the Wolves? Like, that to me is kind of bullying him. Like, yo, Tai, here's another bad matchup for you.
I mean, Tai's holding that number 6 ranking, though, It's like, I was a UFC fan back when there were no rankings. So all the ranking talk is always a little silly and trivial to me. I don't think the higher ups, Dana White and them, care that much. Clearly, if you notice who gets the title shots, it's not always the number 1 guy or girl. However, Tai Tuivasa, I mean, look who's above him. Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, Stipe Miocic, Sergey Pavlovich, and Cyril Gane. Obviously, the champ now, John Jones. That's a murderer's row. And then you got Tai Tuivasa right there, who definitely has some holes in his game. Now, Tai Tuivasa is so fun and marketable. I don't think the UFC wants to feed him away like that unless they're ready to make that investment in Jailton. If they make Tai Tuivasa and Jailton Almeida, you'll know that they've made the decision. Okay, if Tai loses here, we're willing to take that because Jailton is going to be our next star. That would be a big investment in Jailton.
Agreed. And we got to bring up our guy for the dono. Alizar Bekele throws the 199 at us. Off-topic question, Corey Umar. Corey taking that fight will be mad respect because Umar is way back in the rankings. Sandhagen's looks so fucking good, but then you're asking me to pick against the Nurmagomedov. Oh my gosh, man. My early thoughts are, I don't even know. Like I feel like I can't throw a pick out right now.
Corey's going to be tough to strike with, man. I think, I think that Umar would have a lot of trouble sort of getting to him because he moves side to side so well. I've never seen Umar matched up with somebody who's going to be that elusive. Corey's going to be switching stances. He's going to be using the cage. So bigger cage, better for Corey. I think he needs to kickbox him, put those flying knees in there. Umar looked better than ever. And he's like ready for the top now. So that's kind of a blessing for Sandhagen to be like, all right, I'll take him on. But, that's a fun fight. I'll have to dig into that one. I definitely think it's a strange matchup for Umar. It's not somebody Umar could just run over unless he gets to the top position. If he could just get on top of Corey Sandhagen, he'll probably smush him. And then, of course, he's dangerous on the feet now too, AJ. Umar's, he's kind of getting confident in his striking.
Yeah, Umar's dangerous. That's why I really can't even fathom that fight right now until it's officially booked. I don't even want to imagine, Sandhagen taking a fat L after riding high off some big wins and, maybe, I don't know, keep Sandhagen safe for me, man. I'm curious of an O'Malley-Sandhagen fight if, the stars ever aligned. I'd be curious to watch it, though. Fuck it. The UFC's got to bring the train on, and Umar's their next guy up, bro.
One up, to quote Mike, if you think it will start at 8 p.m., you are out of your mind. He's quoting the lovely intro that we have. I thought that was funny. And then one more up, Saint DG, who is the lock for this card? My friend, buckle up. It's coming.
It's coming, man. We'll get to it. That's, the second to last segment. We'll do the locks. I want to just check out some of these comments, man. I'm seeing we had a question. Here we go. What app? I appreciate you calling us smart as fuck. The app that personally I like is Bet Online. My bookie is also available. Our old friend, my bookie. And, if you got DraftKings in your state, I would say that's optimal more than anything else. But yeah, I'd say Bet Online, my bookie. I got a buddy of mine who uses Bovada too. Any of those four, I'd say, are pretty reliable sources for betting, I would say. Those are my top four. You agree, Mike?
I would agree. And then one above him, he said, yo, you got me into BKFC. Listen, we're the BKFC. We're the plug. We're the cord that just brings the energy right to you, right? That's exactly what we want to do, is to be able to give you that electricity, because BKFC's been taking care of us. They got us a show we host with BK Bets. We're going to be back on the mic on Wednesday, AJ.
Yep, I'm ready.
Lights on. And then also they flew me out to that last event, which was really cool. So BKFC, all love here. We're making BKFC fans from scratch.
Yo, bare knuckle too. We did well last week. We hit main event on the money. Your dog Caruso was about to win the fight, dog. It was a fucking what was it? The back of the head shot. Yeah. And then they called it a no contest. But Caruso was beating him up in the first. I was watching. I'm like, no fucking way. You about to get a huge dog. Is what it is, man. That's the fucking bare knuckles game. Shit goes crazy.
I mean, and some of those odds are so wide. One of them are going to come through. Remember, we bet that I didn't bet it because I live in California. I can't even bet on BKFC. So sad. But there was like a 700 dog, So some of them are super, super wide in BKFC. Another reason, if you like betting on fights, MMA and BKFC, both some action to be found.
Yes, some fucking savage action, man. Bare knuckle brought the fire for me. The UFC, obviously, in the co-main event, we got to talk about Johnny Walker. Anthony Smith. It was Walker's showcase fight. I know a lot of people kind of dogged this performance. I thought he erred on the side of caution, but for a Johnny Walker, who I think a lot of us would consider at one point was extremely reckless, to see him fight with a controlled pace and win a clean decision like that, I had a great time watching it. I was happy to see it. Granted, I also had Walker in a parlay with Almeida. I was excited that he was, pulling it off and, keeping it on the safer side, not getting caught with any crazy shit. He beat up Anthony Smith's leg, used his size, and got a clean W. And I feel like Johnny Walker, I know it seems like the UFC's, like Dana White specifically, not all that excited about that performance, but I thought it was a good performance. He really just outclassed Anthony Smith everywhere. Yeah, he didn't finish him, but clean W. And I thought that was huge for Johnny Walker. And I think moving forward, I mean, Alex Pereira maybe is a future matchup for him. There's a lot of big fights. He's right at the top now.
Yeah. 100%. The problem is Dana White was pissed. The problem is Dana's like, oh, he should have gone in and tried to finish the fight, and he let him off the hook. I think he could have put him away. The type of performance you want at this level, although we must say the light heavyweight division, not the most stacked sandwich I've ever seen.
Yes.
Okay. They didn't get the double meat at Subway. All right. It's a little thin. I could imagine him being right up there in title contention if he would have put the stamp on it, AJ.
Yeah, if you would have stopped Anthony Smith, even third round, it would have got him real close. I guess I think that, after some, time off, we're away from the fight. The UFC has Pereira there, and they're like, shit, Johnny Walker, Alex Pereira, Brazil, that's a fight night main event. That's huge. That's a huge fight, even on a co-main event of a pay-per-view. Like, there's crazy shit that can happen. I think that Johnny Walker and Pereira should happen if it's true that he's moving up, being Pereira.
I fucking love that fight. That would be such a sick fight. I mean, look at the top of light heavyweight. Jamal Hill with the belt. Huh? How? Yuri Prohaska, Magomed Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, Rakic, and then, of course, Anthony Smith, who he just beat. Any of those fights are fun. I mean, Yuri and Walker'd be insane. Jan Blachowicz and Walker'd be insane. Obviously, Alex Pereira, like these strikers fights, I like.
Yeah, I think give him the strikers, man. Ankalaev's where the trouble comes. Ankalaev's a hard matchup.
That's where your back hits the mat. You get fucking pinned.
I don't want to see that one, man. I got to bring up Mark Begley. Let's get MMA experts at 16.5K subs by the May. Hey, my guy. Yeah, tell him about it. Tell him, say, yo, check me out.
Hit that fucking like button, folks.
Let's go. And we got to bring up Mike Finch. You were confident on Ian Gary. I was delusional thinking D-Rod had a shot, and he kicked him in the face, bro. You mentioned the fucking high kick, and look at that. I thought he was at Edmen. I said, holy shit. Sick win. I got to stop doubting Ian Gary now because he really ran through D-Rod in the way that somebody who seems to be a potential future contender should. And that to me is like, all right, this guy's real. And he's, training with savages, Gilbert Burns, Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's going to Brazil to do more jiu-jitsu. I'm curious, man. Maybe Ian Gary is that good. Maybe Ireland's really got somebody on the come up. I guess I was doubting him early on, but as young as he is, to have a performance like that against D-Rod, it's pretty fucking impressive.
Pretty fucking impressive, man. He's quick. He sets shit up. He was confident walking in there. I liked the way he handled it too. I really think that he could be a big star. People like, is he the next McGregor? McGregor's the only McGregor.
Yes.
But Ian Gary he's got great tools. He's going to be pretty hard to get to. And he's still so young in the game, in his 20s, right? I mean, how old is fucking
25, bro?
25, dude. So all of his best fights are ahead of him. I believe that. Ian Gary he will be challenging for the title. I mean,
is he the next Darren Till? That's the question. Is he? Darren Till challenged for the belt, and he had the similar hype. I would say though, Ian Gary is cleaner than Darren Till with his strikes. Even I think Ian Gary's good, man. I'm done doubting him.
Ian Gary looks a lot better to me than Darren Till. Darren Till fights with his hands open in that head upright stance. I think Ian Gary's significantly more dangerous. I think he's gonna do better than Till, bro. I don't think he's gonna have problems like that. Now we've got to see what he does against great wrestlers. That would be like a big turning point in his career when he shows us how he performs in that type of a fight.
Yeah, agreed. I'm curious to see that too. I want to answer this. This is an interesting question, man. What do you guys want to see? Darren Till, Mike Perry? Yeah, I would want to see it, but I don't think Darren Till fares well in bare knuckle with Mike Perry. He's going to get stopped.
Yeah, I think Darren Till's getting fucked up by Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, dude, Luke was huge and he hit hard, and I don't think Darren Till is beaten on Mike Perry in bare knuckle. I think he could maybe last a little longer than Luke though, because I don't think Till will give up on himself. I think he might still get stopped, but I'd say 3rd or 4th round TKO.
And Mike Perry's hittable. It's like when I saw Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold throw down live like that, when I was watching, what I saw was somebody who you can get to. I think Conor McGregor saw the same thing. It's like you could punch Mike Perry in the face. It's not that hard to punch Mike Perry in the face. The thing is, you're not going to make Mike Perry quit. And if you let him pressure you, he's going to punch you right back. You really need to be able to set traps and cut angles and be very mobile in that little ring. It's a very small ring, especially when you're 6'2" or whatever Luke Rockhold is. I mean, Mike Perry takes a couple steps and you take a couple steps and you're already on the ropes. So, there are a lot of intangibles, little things that can make a difference in the fight. But the thing I saw watching Mike Perry live was he's not Superman. He's not invincible. He could be KO'd. He could be caught. Is Darren Till the guy? I'm going to say no. But I'm not like crazy high on Mike Perry. I don't have some sort of delusional belief in Mike Perry and BKFC, which it seems like he started to build up in some fans. I think there are a lot of good fighters who could beat Mike Perry and BKFC. Just the 3 that have tried haven't been the guys. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a champ in that weight class, and he's not it. Regardless of how big his stock is. I mean,
because he didn't want the belt. That's where the platinum belt comes from, right? Is because he's like, I could go for money fights, and I could try to just cash out as much as possible. Or I could try to do the legit thing and be the BKFC champ and defend their title. He decided to go for money fights. I do the same shit.
Money. Take the fucking money, bro. I'm with you 100%. Mike, we got a card to talk about. I know a lot of people have been bashing it, but actually when you dig in, we got some fun fights. Not the greatest cherry on top in the main event, but quality martial arts from bottom all the way up to the top. Let's start it off with the first fight of the night. Make sure you guys watch and smash the likes. And if you're new, subscribe. Keep it locked in. Moneyline every single Monday. We're breaking down the fist fights, baby. All right. Takashi Sato versus Themba Gorimbo. So, Mike, Sato has been very underwhelming in the UFC for me, and I've made mistakes of picking him in the past and having belief in his power. But ultimately, when I look at that highlight reel knockout win, it was against Jason Witt. And we have seen Jason Witt since that time flatline more impressively numerous times, right? So I'm taking my belief in the Sato power down a notch. Themba Gorimbo is not overly impressive with his kickboxing, and I don't want to say that he's a clumsy fighter, but he doesn't seem to be crazy polished as far as his technical game. He's decent, good athleticism, physically strong grappler. I feel as though Themba Gorimbo could win this one on the scorecards. I'm going to pick Gorimbo by a decision over Takashi Sato using a grappling heavy game and not getting caught with anything silly. So decision win, Gorimbo is the pick for the first one, but I'm not going to be telling you guys I'm betting it because you know what? Absolutely not a bet on this fight for me.
Yeah, and you can take Gorimbo down too. He's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but in this matchup, Sato's just probably going to try to kickbox him on the outside. It's probably his best bet to get anything done is to just try to keep that pocket, keep that cushion, keep that range, and try to snipe him from out there. If he could, get a knockout here, that would be his way to do it. But Gorimbo's got a little bit of confidence in his hands, and those takedowns are nice. He's got some nice submissions. When he did get taken down outside of the UFC, I've seen him slap on triangles, and he's got game on the ground. So probably a Gorimbo decision would make some sense here, AJ. Not one I'm running to go bet on, but Gorimbo decision I like. Let's double up on it.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Betting side of it, you got even money, minus 110 for each of them. Pick'em's fight, I think Gorimbo takes a hard-fought decision. I'm looking at lines here. Gorimbo by decision plus 225. It doesn't really call my name. This is just not one of those fights that calls my name. Probably goes distance. The over is actually at plus money at plus 125. But when you're dealing with guys towards the back end of the rankings, am I really going to risk burning money on this one? I'm going to say no.
Some people seem confident in it. You guys are like Gorimbo all day. You know, Sato's been looking awful.
He has.
I mean, if you dug that deep into it, if you think so, I just think Gorimbo looks a little vulnerable. Right. Even on the feet, AJ, you know, he doesn't seem like an elite striker or something. And then, of course, you know, like I said, he's been taken down. Like, you know, there's a give and a take to his fights. He's not out there dominating people. Sato, on the other hand, yes, somebody you can't have a ton of confidence in, and the odds are close. So if you really feel that strongly about Gorimbo, personally, there are better bets.
I got to bring this up right here. It was hilarious, Mike. I don't know if you saw the fight companion. So when Brian Battle won, I fucking jumped up. The camera comes down, right? Falls off. And then I have the bong, right? And I accidentally bump into it, go to catch it, absolutely crush the thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I did not see this.
It was funny, man. It was fun. I got to get it, a new one. Probably tomorrow I'm buying a new one for the fucking live stream. I got to be able to rip the bong for the people. So yeah,
bro,
I'll read.
Oh, you got to hit me up on that, because I found so there's a website that sells to glass shops.
Interesting.
They'll sell to smoke shops. And if you there are some where you could just get one to like try it or whatever. So you could get it half price and get a phenomenal water pipe.
That's interesting.
Are we talking about bongs live on YouTube right now? What are you saying? I'm a saint. I don't even know what we're talking about here. Never mind. But after this, ask me about that. We're going to get AJ the right water pipe.
My man.
I want you to get a fucking, you know.
The big savage one?
Yeah, bro. You need some shit. What's that scene in Inglourious Bastards where Hans Landa pulls out the huge fucking, you know? We need AJ just to have some type of monster water pipe.
All right. Listen, I'm down for that. Especially that will blow up on the fucking live streams. I'll stand up and rip it. So fuck it. I'm in. I'm in to get a savage one, bro. We'll get one, man. We'll make it happen, bro. We'll make it happen this week.
3-foot bong for MMA experts.
Let's go.
And it's gotta be tagged. MMA experts. You could sell them. I got some ideas, bro.
Listen, we can make it happen, Mike French. We'll talk about it. Guys, next fight on the card. We have ladies going after it. Victoria Leonardo and Natália Silva. Mike Finch. The people are sleeping on Leonardo. First round knockout. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. I think that Natália Silva is going to run a train over Leonardo.
Whoa.
And not in a sexual way, like a dominant fucking fight. Like she's gonna beat that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Listen, you know, I will watch the other one if there was a, you know what I'm saying, OnlyFans available. But regardless of that, okay? I think that Natália Silva's hands are deadly. I think that her jiu-jitsu is way better. And this fight is one-sided ass-whooping savagery. And the bookies agree because Silva's a disgusting favorite. There's no shot for Leonardo here. And, you know, I think that this is this one-way traffic. That's it.
Leonardo looked pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm looking at Silva on the other side, I'm seeing an athlete who's closer to her prime, who's putting everything together, you know. So it just seems like they're operating on different frequencies.
Mm.
You know, Leonardo, you know, had a lot more sort of fanfare coming into her previous fight than she does now. Who did she lose to? Why can't I remember that opponent? Victoria Leonardo just lost to... Pulling it up now. Okay, Manon Ferreira. That was, you know, Manon Ferreira's a beast. Melissa Gatto, pretty good too, but yeah, broken arm, not a good ending there. And then Mandy Bohm, who, by the way, did bounce back. AJ, Mandy Bohm actually isn't the worst fighter in the UFC. It turns out.
Arguable.
So Leonardo got a win over her. So I don't know. I think the odds might be a little wide. But yeah, Silva's going to be too tall of a task for her, man. I think Natália Silva is going to move at light speed compared to Leonardo. She'll put it all together. She'll put takedowns together. Even her striking will probably look pretty good. Give me Leonardo, and she might armbar him, bro.
You going Leonardo by armbar? Is that what you just said to me?
Submission.
Leonardo sub?
Yeah. No, get the fuck out of here. Leonardo getting subs. Yes.
Guys,
yes.
Mike Finch is on Leonardo by sub. It's
Get
locked
the,
in right
get
now.
the fuck out of here, mate.
Listen, if it did happen, you could cut that and just totally fraudulently sell it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Leonardo sub would be the worst pick of
That
all
would be.
time. Leonardo sub would be bad. Give me Silva submission. Let's call it early, folks. Round 1.
Damn. Okay. All right. Let me read the lines off. Money line is minus 1,000 for the Silva. There ain't nothing there for Natália. Unfortunate. Knockout plus 230. Sub plus 175. But winning round 1 is plus 225, which is inside distance. Inside distance is minus 150, bro. Damn. So we got to pick between sub or knockout. I'm torn because she could put it together with the hands and stop her, but then I'm also thinking club and sub. Tricky for the fucking shit, man.
Miranda Maverick armbarter in Invicta.
And Natália Silva's, she's dangerous with the jits, bro. How many? Let me see something real quick. How many wins by sub does Natália Silva have?
She wraps up arms,
7, bro.
Yeah.
And 4 TKOs. Teresa Bleda, who she ended up knocking out, is more of a grappler. And then you see a lot of fucking arm bars. You know what? Let's double it up on fucking armbar city. Let's go sub plus 175. Prop is a considerable play. I think you can consider it. I wrote down officially, man. I said result, KO or sub. So inside distance. I've been torn between the two, man.
And he's still torn, folks. Go submission for me.
Fuck it. I'll join Mike with sub. At the end of the day, that many arm bars, probably sub. Money line is unplayable. So do you want to prop it up? Do you want to attack the sub line? Plus 175. Hey, it's better than fucking playing minus 1,000.
That is better than minus 1,000. However, the odds are pretty fucking wide on this one, dude.
Bad.
Might be enough to scare me away.
Yeah. No, there's no money line attack here. But Silva to get it done with confidence. Very much so. Next fight, we got Chase Fast Hands Hooper versus Nick Fiore. Listen, man. Fast Hands by Chase Hooper, baby. You know what I'm saying? Chase Hooper's developing some hands.
Hooper, Mike Perry, BKFC. Come on.
Yeah, I think Chase stops him in a round, bro.
Come on.
Mike Perry don't got a shot with Chase on the feet. Listen to me. I think that Chase Hooper, though, in this fight here, right? We've complained about Chase Hooper striking forever, and people who have shit on the Chase Hooper pick. He's got wins in the UFC. He's still dominated decent fighters with his grappling. Nick Fiore is known for his grappling game, but dude, I'm not impressed by his striking. I respect his toughness, but his stand-up doesn't make me say, wow. He comes from a team, you know, Rob Font's team over in Massachusetts. Those guys are tough as hell, but he don't have no Rob Font jab. His stand-up is not there. So I don't think Chase Hooper is all that threatened on the feet. So now you get into grappling. Chase Hooper's long. He's tricky to deal with his jiu-jitsu. I would say he's arguably the better grappler between the two, you know, and he's proven it in the UFC level, at least in mixed martial arts. He can win fights, and people say, bro, he's terrible. He got killed by Steve Garcia. Listen, after Steve Garcia slept Norden Becke, you got to put a little respect on the Steve Garcia name, man. I mean, Philippe Kolaris win is pretty good. Beat Peter Barrett. Was gone distance with some okay fighters like, you know, Steven Peterson, even Alex Caceres. Nick Fiore on the side, 6-1, young in the game, hasn't really beaten anybody good. Lost his debut against Mateusz Rebecki, who's like, you know, way shorter than Chase Hooper, a lot smaller of a grappler, and stronger too, though, for sure. But this fight here is at 55, so Chase Hooper filling out. I think he's gonna be better at 55. Yeah. I think he was really drained himself down to 45, and you saw him get chinned quickly and just look like he was done right away. I got to go Chase Hooper to pull this one off. I think a grappling heavy fight, and Hooper by decision, I think I'm going to call, actually.
Well, Chase Hooper found the weight room, right? When he made his UFC debut, or was it Dana White Contender Series? To me, it might as well be a UFC debut. He, you know, was pretty boyish. I saw somebody put in there, does he have his pubes yet? Like, no, right? He has like, you know, come on. Not everybody could be as much of a man, okay? So I don't think he was there yet. You like that?
That was savagery, Mike.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I shaved my chest actually the other day.
See, that's why you were late. AJ's like, I had to take this shower.
Yeah.
Had to fucking wax it up,
you know
right?
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Getting the bench in.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, folks, I think Chase Hooper is putting on muscle. And so when I look at the way Rebecca controlled Nick Fiore on the ground, like he was able to really just make Nick's guard look like shit, dude. Nick on his back didn't really do much, AJ. He wasn't trying to win by submission, at least not very hard. You know, he wasn't putting it together very much. And so I believe that Hooper is going to be a lot more effective on the ground. I think Hooper could potentially sub him, dude. On the feet, that's where obviously Hooper is going to have trouble with everybody in the UFC. But is Nick Fiore like that dangerous? Is he really that good on the feet? I am not impressed by your performance. Give me Chase fucking Hooper, rear naked strangle, folks.
Let's go, bro. I like that you're going confidently on the sub because Chase Hooper's an underdog, my man. Plus 111 for Chase Hooper right now. Nick Fiore minus 131. So you're getting plus money wherever you're at, though, for Chase. I'm seeing him at DraftKings at plus 125. Win by sub for Hooper, which is Finchman's call, plus 350. If I'm playing this fight, I'm just money lining it, to be honest. I'd throw it on the plus money side of Chase Hooper. I don't think Fiore's got the stopping power in his hands. And when they go to the ground, I think Hooper's going to be better. I got to say, I think Chase Hooper is going to fare well against Fiore. Also note 3-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage, double the fight experience. That's got to count for something at this point. Chase has been around for a minute.
True. Yeah, Chase has been around, 2019 he made his UFC debut. I just saw somebody pushing back on me. Tai Hooper putting on muscle? No, he would be going up a weight class if that were true. No, both things can be true. He had Conor McGregor called it skinny fat. That's what he called Nate Diaz. I thought that was a pretty good line, actually.
Yeah.
Skinny fat's a pretty good line. Chase was a bit skinny fat. So Chase, when he fought, for instance, Daniel Tamer and Alex Caceres back in 2019, that was a skinny fat Chase Hooper. By the time he was stepping in there with Felipe Corrales and Steve Garcia in these last couple fights, you could see a difference. So I'm just talking about what I've already seen, sir. I'm not talking about what he's done the past 3 weeks here. Obviously, he's leaning out right now, but he's stronger than he used to be.
He did go up in weight, though. He is going up a weight class. He was at 45. This is 55. So it's your point is right. He is putting on muscle to Tai because he would go up a weight class if that were true. He's going up a weight. So yeah, we got a more muscular Chase Hooper. I think that aids the grappling, right?
And the way Fiore was controlled on the ground, dude, and the lack of bottom game, like he wasn't trying to get up that much. I think Chase sees that shit, and Chase goes, you know what? I'm going to fucking be able to dominate this guy if I get to the top position. That's a very comfortable thing to be thinking as you train for a fight, as you walk out on fight night, being like, if I put this guy on his back, I'm going to dominate this motherfucker. And I think that'll be exactly what happens when Hooper does get that takedown.
Agreed. We're on the same side, bro. The Chase Hooper underdog side. They sleeping on him. Let's keep moving up the card. Next fight, we got Ilir Latifi and Rodrigo Nascimento. I've been picking Latifi, man. I think Latifi wins this thing. Nascimento is just not impressive to me. I know Latifi, talked about retirement, maybe even retired, and doesn't seem like he's got a lot left. But dude, I'm just not impressed by Nascimento at all. He's like kind of mid at heavyweight. He doesn't have great striking. He has okay grappling, but more just that heavyweight top pressure. It's not like he has this tremendous jiu-jitsu game. I know he's a Brazilian, but that doesn't mean that he's a fucking A1 grappler. And looking at Nascimento's physique, I know Latifi's fat, but dude, I feel like Nascimento is like a heavyweight skinny fat. He doesn't have a lot of muscle tissue on him, which being a grappler, I want to see a guy that he's either fat, stocky, or he's lean, shredded, and strong. I want to see something there. I don't think he's got that type of explosive ability, not heavy-handed. Is he going to get Latifi down? I think probably not. If they're striking, Nascimento's long, so he could probably touch him from a farther distance, but is he going to outbox him for 3 rounds? I think this is going to be a sloppy heavyweight fight, and I'll pick Latifi, but there's no money on the line for this one for me.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me to pick. Look, Nascimento's a much bigger man. I like that you point out that Latifi's looking at retirement. We never want to hear that. Whenever somebody's looking at retirement, the L's start coming in, man. You gotta be thinking that you got millions of dollars to make in this game. You gotta be fucking hungry. And Nascimento might be a little hungrier. Look, they both split decision Tanner Bozier. if Nascimento does get on top of Latifi, which is not easy, he might have to do it with his striking. If he does get on top of him, though, I think he'll head and arm choke him. I do think his jiu-jitsu is a little better than maybe you're giving him credit for. I mean, he does have some nice subs from the top position, and Nascimento, being the taller guy too, might do okay on the feet with Latifi. Latifi, is he that impressive on the feet, AJ? I mean, he's a strong wrestler. He's put in a lot of sparring rounds with Gustafsson. But I can imagine Nascimento doing okay on the feet. And if somehow he gets to the top position, because I'll agree with you, it's going to be very difficult to take Latifi down. But if he somehow trips him or punches him, I don't know, maybe he jabs him in the nose and gets him to trip. If he gets to that top position, he'll dominate the rest of the round. I do believe that. I do believe from like a half guard, Nascimento is going to be able to hold him down and threaten with submissions from the top, and maybe potentially take his back when he's trying to stand up. So give me Nascimento decision. Probably a good fight, probably a close fight.
All right, on the opposite sides, but I wouldn't grab a pitchfork and riot over that one because Latifi is 40. Nascimento bigger, like you said. Weird fight. Plus 155 for Latifi. He's an underdog, so I am going dog here. But not really loving, even though it's a good line, I don't know. This is one that I'd wait till weigh-ins. If I really get a good feeling towards Latifi as we get closer at plus 155, very playable. But right now, I'm not. Nascimento minus 185. Do you want to back him, financially? Personally, I don't know. Mike, what are your thoughts on that, bro? He's not like one of your favorite bets, or is he?
I mean, am I going to bet the house on Nascimento or Latifi? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just don't have that type of, like when I saw that Olberg and Ihor Peteria matchup, I'm like, okay, can I even imagine Olberg fucking this one up? I can imagine Nascimento fucking this one up, dude. I'll probably stay away from it.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from him, most likely, but maybe we go dog if he's looking good at weigh-ins. Latifi by decision plus 350, Nascimento decision plus 280, and the over 2.5 is actually at slight plus money at plus 100. I think it's a heavyweight fight that probably goes long, so that plus 100 might be the sneaky play of the whole pick.
Not a bad idea. I do think it could go long for sure. The one thing I'm thinking is maybe a tired Latifi gets head and arm choked, but yeah, he'd have to get to the top position. So the decision is live for sure.
Over, dude, I'm liking that over 2.5, guys, is not a bad play. I just have a feeling that we're going long for these heavyweights. Yeah, let's go.
That would make sense. I like over 2.5 on this one.
Let's go.
You wouldn't be crazy for that.
Let's go. Next fight on the card, we got Orion Cosce versus the legendary Gilbert Urbina at this point, because he's the one Urbina brother that's in the UFC now, getting his big shot. Listen, I look at this fight, and Cosce is a pressure-heavy wrestler, but I'm not impressed by the stand-up. Seems one-dimensional. And then I dig into who he's training with, okay? You are a guy that has good wrestling. Team Alpha Male, for me, doesn't seem like the right gym because it's just going to reinforce his habit of just having the wrestling. I think he needs to go get his kickboxing game sorted out, tighten up the stand-up. That's where Cosce is going to have more success. He's already got better wrestling than most of the fighters, And then you look on the other side, Urbina can wrestle too, though. And he's long. He can kickbox, BMF ranch guy, nice elbows inside. I like the Muay Thai, scrappy dude. I think Urbina, man. I feel like he's going to pull this one off. I think he's going to be more violent on the feet. I think he could hurt Cosce. He's got a good range advantage, height differential, 6'3" to 5'11", 3-inch reach edge. A lot of factors I'm liking in the favor of Urbina. I think Urbina could actually lock up a submission, maybe. Hurting Cosce, forcing him to panic shoot, and then grabbing a neck. I'm going to go Urbina to win sub, but I'd just money line, if I am betting this one.
I like it, dude. Look, I think Cosce is a little fucking wild, dude. Like, he'll just start banging. He'll just start throwing shit from his grandma's house, and that means he's not protecting his own house. And then Urbina was able to take down Brian Battle and win that first round. Look how much respect Brian Battle's getting now. Urbina was dominating that fight up until one takedown. He threw like a spinning back elbow or a spinning back fist and got taken down. And in order to stand up, he got his back taken and got strangled. And we know Brian Battle's got nice submissions. He was winning that fight. So I do think he's probably a little underrated at this point. And if anything, this Orion Cosce guy is a little overrated. I think he takes too much risk. He might have the wrestling base, but he'll probably get outstruck here too. I like Urbina, man. Give me an Urbina W. Does he finish him? Maybe he subs him. That's tough for me to pick the finish, dude. I'd money line it.
Money line is your better option, but you better go out fast if you're going to bet this fight, because Urbina was a much wider underdog, as now he's sitting only at plus 110. So you're getting barely even plus money at this point, which sucks. But that's just how the line's moving, man. People saw the Urbina side and they say, give me that fucking plus money. This is a mismark. And as far as your props, right now, I don't have any availability on the sub prop, but I do have Urbina inside distance at plus 220. So sub has got to be upwards of plus 275, plus 300. The call is Urbina. We're both on it. Win this fight as a dog. I would say what Mike said, just money line it. And if you're going to bet it at plus, you better go out soon. If not, you're getting it at minus 120 because this line is probably going to shift.
Yeah, I guess. Jesus Christ. I like what you usually say, wait till weigh-ins. I mean, how many fucking times have we learned that lesson? But that's a lot of movement. That's interesting.
Yeah, everybody's attacking Urbina. Now, sometimes you fade the public, though, on a very popular dog like this. Maybe that's the better option, which I was going to wait till weigh-ins before I touch this one. I'm behind the fucking 8-ball now. I'm behind the 8-ball.
That's all good. They're being a money line. All right. We're going to look at it. I like that pick.
Let's go. Dog money. Next fight on the card, we got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Vanessa Demopoulos. So this one here, I got to pick Kowalkiewicz, Mike Finch. I'm going against the D-Mop train, and I see you staring at me, staring into my soul as I say this right here. Listen, I think Kowalkiewicz can land good straight shots through the guard on Demopoulos, and I feel like there's a susceptibility to straight punches for D-Mop. D-Mop's going to be the more athletic and faster girl. Kowalkiewicz 37, D-Mop 34. Kowalkiewicz reached a higher peak in the fight game, but granted, that doesn't matter at this point. What about right now? I see Kowalkiewicz on a very competitive decision. I think she'll take out D-Mop, but, you know, I'm not going to tell you it's the lock of the century. It's a fucking close fight.
Do you remember when Karolina was on that fucking Mount Everest avalanche skid?
Yes.
She was just loose. She was getting armbarred by Jessica Penne, and she was just getting fucked up. She bounces back with a couple of wins, and I think people are giving her a little too much credit. And then Vanessa Demopoulos on the other side. I mean, Vanessa Demopoulos, I think, has had some seriously tough tests, man. I'd have to pull up the Tapology at this point, because we got to get the names. But, dude, I think Vanessa Demopoulos has actually seen some decently bad matchups for her. Jinyu Frey, pretty powerful striker. Oliveira in the last one, I do believe, and how dare I, but AJ, you picked Oliveira, I believe, over Demopoulos. Are you sleeping on my girl, Vanessa Demop? Do you not respect the fucking ground game of Vanessa Demopoulos? And because at Fight Ready, they're getting her better at striking too. She's still kind of green. Now, she's done, kickboxing before with the fucking headgear on as an amateur. Like, she's been out there and she does have a little bit of experience. She's not completely green, but as far as like striking on her feet in the UFC, she's just getting her feet wet. Karolina, I think I'm very familiar with what Karolina looks like. I think I'm constantly getting impressed by Vanessa Demopoulos. Obviously ran over Silviana Juarez. Now, if I look at Karolina bounced back with a win over Felice Herrig. Okay, folks.
That's a massive W, my friend.
Okay, folks. Felice Herrig, all due respect. Okay, all due respect. Vanessa Demopoulos would eat Felice Herrig for breakfast. Okay, Felice Herrig was at the later stage of her career, and for all intents and purposes, did not belong in the UFC at that point. And then her other win was against Silviana Juarez, where she goes to a decision. Vanessa Demopoulos ran her over. Now, she got hit and got knocked down, obviously, but she snatched that armbar up so quick, man. Silviana Juarez couldn't play with her on the ground at all. I don't think Karolina can either. I think Vanessa Demopoulos is going to do fine on the feet. What, is Karolina going to knock her out? Come on, folks. I think that Vanessa Demopoulos, as soon as she gets her hands clasped behind Karolina, I think she's taking her for a ride back to fucking Poland. I think she gets on top of her, and I think she breaks her fucking arm. Give me Vanessa Demopoulos armbar.
Mike Finch, you got the plus 120. Demopoulos is a dog. Minus 140 for Kowalkiewicz on the other side. Looking at sub for your end, plus 350 Demopoulos by sub. Listen, I'm not playing Kowalkiewicz as a favorite. I'm not craving the touch all that much. That rhymed pretty well, actually. And Demopoulos on the other side, I mean, that's your girl. I respect it. I respect you going the D-Mop side. There's plus money there. And listen, it's women's MMA is fucking chaotic at this point. Get all dogs. And, at this point, you'll be up. Bet every fucking female dog.
You probably do fine, right?
I always end up picking the favorite, man. I don't know how to do. I just feel like Kowalkiewicz beats her on the cards, but the line is way better with Finchman, bro. I'm hoping you guys are cashing on plus money if you're playing it.
Come on, folks. Vanessa Demopoulos is just a couple levels above Carolina as far as physical strength is concerned, as far as grappling is concerned. Even where she's at in her career, she fucking wants it, dude. She's working for the UFC, doing like interviews and commentary and shit, but she's so young in the game. She wants that title shot. It's all ahead of her. She's hungry, dude. She's hungry, man. I got to hang out with Vanessa Demopoulos. She came on my show. If you guys go on my channel, you'll see a half-hour interview with Vanessa where we talk about her stripping and all the crazy shit she's done in her life. She's very cool. But just seeing her train a little bit at Fight Ready, I was there in the gym watching her scrap, hearing her levels that she's at with her lifting. Like as far as other women in the weight class, she claims she is the strongest. She's putting up all the highest numbers at the UFC Performance Institute when it comes to any type of lifts or any explosive movements. She says she's blowing these other girls out of the water. I could imagine her getting a hold of Carolina and taking her for a fucking ride, dude.
Well, that's very interesting information that I just got. That's very interesting. So you're saying she's doing more
strong.
Interesting. All right.
Strong stripper. Come on, bro. You ever been to a strip club? Don't answer that question. But those girls can they get a lot of core strength goes into stripping. Right. And Vanessa Demopoulos has had her share of those workouts.
Yeah. All right. Respect, bro. Respect. Mike Finch going dog money D-Mop. And let's see on Fight Night, baby. Let's go. Next one is our featured prelim. We have Maheshate versus Vyacheslav Barshev, a.k.a. Slava Claus. Mike, I'm thankful for this fight because Slava has been getting thrown guys that can outmuscle him, bully him on the ground. Maheshate has he's got a little bit of a wrestling background, but it's not extensive. I was looking into his biography and just trying to see he has done traditional wrestling before. Now, regardless of that fact, he is definitely not an imposing threat and a physical specimen like a Mike Davis, like Mark Jacasey. Barshev, to me, even in those losses, one thing I saw is the dude is a fighter. He is trying his absolute hardest to get out of these bad positions. He just doesn't have the muscle memory / knowledge of the ground game yet, but he's at the right team. He's at Team Alpha Male. Like I said, with Cosce, he's at the wrong gym because he should be, I think, doing more stand-up specific training. Right. Barshev's the complete he's going to outstrike a vast majority of these guys. He already's got the hands and the kicks. He's got everything on the feet. But the ground needs a lot of work. Now you get Maheshate, a guy who I don't think can take him down. And if he does, I don't think can bully him on the floor. I think this is a guy Barshev can get up from the bottom and I think lay some hammers on the feet. Maheshate is a young kid, bro, 23 years of age. Barshev, he's in his prime. And really, this is a stylistic matchup that I think he shines in. I'm going Barshev knockout.
Interesting. Well, you hit the nail on the head that this is finally a matchup that makes sense for Barshev. Slava Claus has not performed well against very physically strong grapplers. And Maheshate, as far as I've seen, is a pure striker. You're saying he has a wrestling background? I would have to fucking hire a private investigator and look into that before betting on Barshev because Slava Claus cannot fucking grapple, dude, So if Slava Claus is doing his thing on the feet, though, as far as their striking matchup is concerned, I see Maheshate as sort of standing up a little bit tall, sort of looking a little more Muay Thai style, and Slava Claus has got a little bit of head movement. He's kind of sweet with the slips and the rolls. He's able to sort of weave under punches, throw big hooks. I like that it's tight, too. His defense looks good, so does his offense. So you would have to imagine that he's a better boxer. And even though if he gets out kicked a little bit and maybe Maheshate is able to control the distance a little bit, that Barshev gets off with some of those punches and is able to, I don't know, knock him out. I don't know. I think Slava Claus is going to look good in this matchup unless he gets taken down. If he gets taken down, you'll just have to let out a long sigh because he's not going to be comfortable on his back. He's not very comfortable when it comes to the mat work. He's somewhat of a one-dimensional fighter. But I thought the same thing from Maheshate. I have yet to see any tape of Maheshate really going for the offensive grappling.
Zero takedowns attempted.
Give me Slava Claus.
Give you Slava. Yeah, I'm with you. And I like that this fight, 0 takedowns attempted by either guy throughout their UFC run. So something to know. These guys are not looking to take fights to the floor. And when that's not even in your arsenal, Maheshate might be going in. Fuck, if I throw in the feet, I'm going to look for that takedown. I don't think it happens. I think that Borshev will stuff a slow shot from Maheshate. I'm going Borshev knockout Mike Finch. And I don't hate the line here. I definitely think it's a piece to a parlay. -170, not a bad money line. Maheshate is the +145 dog, and Borshev to win via knockout +150. So you do get some plus. I like the +150 KO, but money line always the better option because it's not like Maheshate hasn't shown that he's durable. He has. He fought well against Rafa Garcia and went 3 rounds. I'm picking Borshev to get it done, but I would just lean towards money line. But knockout's the official pick.
Yeah, money line it. I could see a knockout as well, but Maheshate is decent at maintaining distance. I could imagine him stretching this thing out, even if he is stuck on the feet with a great striker, because the kid can fucking strike too. Borshev knockout, but money line it. I agree.
Money line. Let's keep running and let's get to the main card. Make sure you guys smash the likes if you're watching and enjoying. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Main card time. Mike Finch. We got Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Michael the Menace Johnson. And I think he's going to be a hell of a menace in this fight, Mike Finch. I think that Michael Johnson matches up pretty well against Ferreira because Johnson has very good takedown defense. And Ferreira, in my opinion, as good as his jiu-jitsu is not a tremendous wrestler. Doesn't have great shots. Takedown accuracy percent, 24%. So definitely on the low side. Michael Johnson, I'm looking at stats, bro, 80% takedown defense rate. And you see when people shoot on him, he's got fast hips, fights out of the southpaw stance, nasty combination striker, wins over Edson Barbosa, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, controversial decision loss to Beneil Dariush. Michael Johnson has been in there with the creme de la creme, fought Habib. What, Gaethje slept him too? Yeah, and he rocked Gaethje in that fight. Michael Johnson's fought everybody. Josh Emmett. How many? I could probably say fucking 20 other names, but I'm not gonna. I think that Diego Ferreira is also past his prime. He doesn't look to have that same fire. Gamrot was beating him up. He got hurt in that fight and stopped due to a rib injury. But even before then, I haven't been liking what I've seen by Diego Ferreira. He's 38 now. He's getting up there. Michael Johnson's not super young in the game, but seems to have more fire lit under him. He actually called out Conor McGregor to a bare knuckle fight after that BKFC face-off with Perry and Conor. So Michael Johnson wants to fight still. He's got that fire, that beast inside. And then I look at his speed. He hasn't slowed down one bit. He's got no threat of knockout power on the other side. What Ferreira has is jiu-jitsu skills, but I don't see Johnson getting bullied on the ground by him. I think Ferreira's going to get knocked out. His stand-up is very mid, and it's unathletic, bro, and his head's there to just be ripped clean off. If Michael Johnson could stay on his feet, he's putting Ferreira's lights out. Give me Johnson knockout.
Yeah, Johnson, I'm waiting for him to get past his prime. I don't really think he's gotten that far past it as to where Ferreira, he almost has no power now. He looks a little slower to me, like he's not very dangerous on the feet anymore, as to where I think Michael Johnson is still dangerous, man. So Michael Johnson, been in there with all the best in the division. He probably won't even be nervous walking out there against Ferreira. If Ferreira ends up on his back or something, it could be bad, but I'll imagine this thing goes down on the feet with Johnson letting his hands go, just more dangerous, more pop in his shots. Give me a Johnson KO.
Johnson to win money line +133 dog money. Diego Ferreira -150. Michael Johnson by knockout +300. I do like KO, but I'm throwing down on the money line. I got to attack this money line before the shit gets wide because I think that it's going to be commonly played, man. I think people are going to be all over this shit, bro. I think that it's going to end up getting a little bit closer, dude. I think Michael Johnson's got this thing. I like him as a dog. I'm going to throw 100 on him right now, bro, because I don't want to fucking wait and let the line shift. I was waiting for my gut to tell me when, and seeing plus 133. It's time, baby. Let's go. All right. We got it on the line. $100 down. I might add more to the slate, but I like to just throw my 1 unit on the dog and then wait till the weigh-ins and see how I'm feeling. And even if the line's a little worse, I'd rather get my reassurance afterwards. So let's
Did
go.
we just witness you put 100 on it? That's not what you just
100
did.
down.
Right
I just put 100 right now.
You just did it right now.
Yeah. Right now.
That's fucking awesome. All right, dude. Fair enough.
go.
Well, hey, if you guys needed some confidence, there's
go.
confidence for you. AJ's not waiting until fucking weigh-ins.
No, not on this one. Not on this one, man. Not on this one. Michael Johnson for the win from me, from Mike. We're both calling knockout, and I think we got a great main card opener. Next fight on the card, we got Andre Fialho and Joaquin Buckley. I was talking to Mike before we went live, and I mentioned this fight. Listen, I think Buckley is going to fuck him up with the hands, Mike Finch.
I hear you.
I feel like Buckley dropping a weight class. This is better for him. He comes in ripped. He's going to have a power edge. He's been in there with some heavy-handed savages, went distance with Nasruddin Imavov. And in that third round, he's doing well. Even in losses, I mean, Michael Johnson, what the fuck? I'm still thinking of Michael Johnson. Buckley.
You're hyped because you just put a band on it.
I am hyped, bro. I am hyped. He brings the heat. I'm a Buckley fan. I like the style. I look at Fialho on the other side. Even in his win against Van Camp, he got rocked a little bit. He sits himself into the fire and bangs. The chin is in question. And also it can get progressively worse taking knockout loss after knockout loss. And now you're fighting a heavy-handed guy coming down from middleweight. I got to say, dude, I think Buckley's chinning him. Note this, too. You know how many losses by knockout on the side of Fialho? 4. And there's 2 back-to-back. And now he faces off with a guy who, he's got power, dude. Real power. I think Buckley's sleeping him.
Son of a bitch. Okay, so the first response I had to this was, you know what? Fialho could get this thing done. We just saw Chris Curtis get it done on the feet. Fialho, similar build to Chris, short, stocky guy, you know, throws tight punches, sort of can roll with shots and come around with some looping shit. But AJ's kind of convincing me, bro. I don't know. I wasn't too confident heading into it anyway. So my impression of Buckley has been that his kicks are better than his hands. You think Buckley has better hands than Fialho?
Yeah, I do, man. I think Fialho, I don't want to say he's overrated, but right now I'm seeing back-to-back L's. It's not like he's a super old guy in the game. I mean, he's 29 and same with Buckley on the other side. But I just think he could get chinned here, man. I do. I'm going to go Buckley by knockout, but don't let me just sway you one way. Because
no, you made a good case. Look, if you guys were looking to bet on this fight, I'll give credit to whoever said it in the comments. It was a little higher up. I lost it. Maybe there's going to be a nice little knockout here. Maybe the under 2.5 is a decent play on this one because these two boys are probably going to slang and bang. You know, I would be pretty surprised to see anybody try to take it to the ground. Although, you know, I say that a lot of times strikers end up fighting each other and they'd like trying to see who the better wrestler is or some shit. So that's always possible. I think Fialho's live here. You know, I acknowledge that he's been knocked out, but he has some sick knockouts too. And you got to remember, you know, that Buckley's coming off of that KO loss too. He is going to change weight classes, but a lot of times when people go down, they have trouble, man. First couple fights dropping a weight class. You know, the record I would love to see. You know, AJ wanted to see the women's underdog bets, like what that would be. I want to see the first fight after you drop a weight class. How do you do? A lot of people fuck it up. And, you know, despite coming off of 2 KO losses last year, I think Fialho could potentially be live in this one. Remember the left hook over Cameron Van Camp. Remember the nice knockout over Miguel Baeza. Good fight with Michael Pahea before that. So I'll stick to my guns with Fialho, but AJ was kind of convincing me. I could imagine Buckley knocking him out. That's not crazy, bro.
Listen, you got the plus money side, plus 185. I like that tag. You know, I'm just not picking the fighter. Buckley other side, minus 220. That under 2.5 is minus 175. I'm probably not going to throw down Buckley by knockout. And I don't want to play a straight money line at minus 220. So regardless of how I feel about the fight, I am not crazy about the Buckley bet. I don't want that minus 220. I like the dog money. I want that plus. And the knockout's plus 120, so it's not great. And I mean, it probably happens. If the under,
do you like that under 2.5?
I like the under 2.5 and minus 175. I think there's violence here.
I kind of like that. That's kind of attractive.
Yeah, that's a decent play. Let's go opposite sides, but we find agreement on that under, Mike Finch. Let's go next one.
I think so.
Next
Good
fight. We got Emily Ducote versus Lupita Godinez. This is a close fight too. Note that Lupi took the fight on a bit of short notice. So something to consider here. Ducote's got good Muay Thai. I like her game. I just feel as though she does well when she controls the pace, whereas I feel like Lupi needs to push the pace. Lupi needs to clinch it up, make it a dirty fight, use the grappling skill set. She's got the wrestling game. Wasn't loving the fight against Cynthia Calvillo for Lupi, and now she's fighting Ducote, who's coming off of a loss to Angela Hill, but I mean, Godinez got beaten up by Hill too. It is what it is. I'm leaning the Lupi side, and I'm picking her to win this thing. I'm going to say she gets a decision. I just feel like the wrestling pressure, just the pressure overall, even the stand-up of Lupi's not bad. Ducote's clean, though, and she's got a ton of experience. I got to go Lupi for the win, man. I got to ride with her nervously a little bit, though.
Yeah, kind of the same breakdown for me. I mean, Ducote looked decent on her feet in the UFC. You know, Angela Hill is a great striker, and that was a pretty good fight. And she was, sort of toe-to-toe with her, and she's got some nice KOs. I remember seeing her in Invicta. She threw like a cross, put the girl out, and then just throws a head kick up there and coffins her. She's definitely game on the feet, and Lupi Godinez has disappointed us, but Lupi Godinez may be more well-rounded, maybe could bring it. It does make me a little nervous that you said she took it on short notice. I didn't actually know that. So, Lupi Godinez taking it on short notice might be enough for me to stay away from the fight, but give me Lupi decision.
Lupi by decision is the same pick as me. It's just minus 150, probably not money line in Lupi. Ducote's plus 130 as the dog. The over 2.5 minus 325 probably happens. Lupi by decision plus 100. I'm picking Lupi to get it done, as is Mike Finch, and we're both calling it the same way, win by decision. It's a women's fight, bro. It's a women's fight, and we're picking the favorite, bro. We're in trouble. And it's at 120, not 115 because of the short notice. So, I guess
good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I could imagine this being a close fight, dude.
Agreed.
I could imagine this being like a split decision.
I could see that. I'm
especially on the feet.
Yeah. Striking, I feel like Ducote's crisper, a little bit cleaner with the kicks. But I still think Lupi's got a little bit of that athletic advantage, and she isn't really scared of getting hit. So I think she'd eat one to land some too.
Yeah, I'm with Mr. D. If Lupi wrestles, she wins. Dust off the fucking wrestling singlet, change levels, give her some smoke, and then whop, hit those takedowns, try to grapple Ducote. And I do believe that she will, even if she doesn't get the takedowns, she'll at least do enough in the clinch and with threatening on offense, man. So even if she's not hitting those takedowns, she should do it like Marab. Just keep fucking grinding, keep fucking shooting. Eventually it'll come.
Yeah, agreed. We're on the same side. Godinez for the win. Let's get to the co-main event. We got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Anthony Hernandez. Man, Shahbazyan has done it right, though. He switched to Extreme Couture, new team, trying to perfect the ground skills. He already had a very technical stand-up game. He likes a controlled pace, though. And Anthony Hernandez doesn't bring a controlled pace. He brings a high pace. He's going to look to make it a fucking dog fight. And then I look at their grappling game. How much can Shahbazyan really be improving since the switch? Can he catch up to a Hernandez on the ground? This guy fucking strangled Rodolfo Vieira. Anthony Hernandez is a menace on the mat. I think that he's going to get the fight to the floor. He's going to have to deal with some striking. From range, Shahbazyan's a fucking sniper. I mean, he knocked out Brad Tavares pretty impressively and looks good in his stand-up overall against anyone that he faces off against. He's the better striker, but it's can he stop the takedown? And it's not one takedown. It's however many Hernandez is just constantly attacking with. I got to go with the better grappling. I got to go with the submission threat. I'm going to go Anthony Hernandez to win submission.
Anthony Hernandez submission I like too, man. Look, Shahbazyan's a pretty good striker, but is he dangerous enough? Is he well-rounded enough for Hernandez? I don't think so, man. He ran into some real trouble. I like him being able to bounce back. That was very important. But Hernandez just got that, arm triangle, head and arm choke over Marc-Andre Barriault. I think that's going to be tougher. The Josh Fremd, win even looks a little bit better now. Dalcha is the win he was able to bounce back from, but the loss to Derek Brunson, the loss to Jack Hermanson, the loss to Imavov. Now that I go through those, though, I mean, Shahbazyan was fighting a pretty high level in the division there, so I don't want to discredit him too much. I like Hernandez in this one. It could go all 3 rounds, but I think submission makes sense, especially late once he sort of wears Shahbazyan down, keeps trying to grapple with him. And Shahbazyan, if he had a little more power, if he was a little more dangerous on the feet, he'd be something to look at. Obviously, he did get Dalcha out of there, but I could imagine Hernandez being a little too game, a little too tough for him. Give me Hernandez 3rd round sub.
Can I tell you something crazy, Mike Finch?
Sure.
Do you remember when Shahbazyan fought Derek Brunson? Do you know what the line was for Shahbazyan? He was a 4-1 favorite. 4-1. That was like people's lock, bro.
4-1.
4-1, bro. And then he fought Jack Hermanson, and now plus 125 dog against Imavov. It was even money against Lee Gambula. He's a huge favorite. And now against Anthony Hernandez, he is a crazy underdog. So that's just something to note, which is why I really don't love the money line betting side, because Hernandez is minus 240. That's too wide for me. That's a mismarked line. The line should be closer. Even though I'm picking Hernandez, I think he wins the fight. I don't want to fucking, spoil it all at minus 240 in a live matchup, because if Shahbazyan can get his stand-up going, I respect the technical game. Now, on the ground, he's got a disadvantage, and it's clear. So Hernandez by sub is the official method of victory call. It sits at plus 190. So do with that as you wish. Not my favorite bet.
Yeah, that is a crazy contrast. I'm glad you made that point. And that was when Derek Brunson wasn't getting a lot of respect, and Shahbazyan was this hyped prospect, and nobody knew how good he was going to be. And then he went on a 3-fight skid, but against, again, good competition. So that line is surprisingly wide, dude. That line is surprising. I don't think this fight is that much of a mismatch. No,
agreed. So mismarked line, just to give you guys to err on the side of caution with this fight here, because, if the line was minus 110, I'd still be picking Hernandez, but I would be like, Shahbazyan's game is fuck. And now you got a crazy ass line. I'm not getting swayed just by the odds to pick Shahbazyan. That's why I'm not picking him. I think Hernandez is better on the ground, but it's the line is, way too wide to represent what I actually see this fight potentially being.
Especially since Shahbazyan just bounced back, got to finish. That shit's important for your confidence, man. He'll probably be firing on all cylinders out here. It's probably a good fight. But yeah, we got to stick to our guns, man. I think Hernandez is a little better.
Agreed. Main event of the evening time. Make sure you guys smash the likes. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Moneyline every single Monday here on the channel. Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill. This was supposed to happen last week. They push it to a main event. My pick stays the same. It's been Mackenzie Dern the entire time. She's got the grappling advantage. Now, I like Angela Hill's striking, but my thought process is this. Over the course of 5 rounds, you're going to have Dern in your face, looking to put pressure on you, trying to get a hold of you. I don't think Mackenzie Dern has great takedowns, but I do think she can get a hold of Angela Hill and get some control time. I think she can try to get dominant position and even take the back of Angela Hill. But something to note is Angela Hill has not been submitted in a very long time. Verna Jandiroba put on an absolute display against Angela Hill with the grappling. Dern doesn't have the same effectiveness with her takedowns, but she has better stand-up. So she can close the gap there. She can close that gap. What'd you say, Mike? I'm actually curious.
I said important point because I heard you bring up the Verna Jandiroba, but look how good Verna Jandiroba just looked in her last fight too. She's a better wrestler than Mackenzie Dern. It's a good point that you made there. Mackenzie Dern not bringing that same like wall MMA takedown style that Jandiroba does. That's fucking tough to get through. And we did see her drown Angela Hill with that. Different stylistic matchup. I'm glad you brought that point up.
So I'm still going with the grappler Dern. And I do think she's going to win the fight with a high pace, clinch pressure, and landing some takedowns, but it's a hard matchup. Angela Hill, when she gets going on the feet, is pretty fucking smooth. I just feel as though there's not enough stinging power to keep Dern off you. Dern has got that just pressure. Yan Xiaonan and her went 5 rounds. She's fought against most of the top girls, and she's gone long and competitive against a lot of them. So I'm gonna go Mackenzie Dern. I'm gonna go decision. What do you think, Mike Finch?
Fuck, dude. This is tough. This is tough. Look, I think I lean Dern, but the more I dig into this thing, it's like, Jandiroba, I think that was a good point to elaborate off of, has such good takedowns. I think she was a little underrated with her offensive grappling and ability to, she's been getting better at it, by the way, to kind of cling on to one leg and, play that wall wrestling game. And then let's look at it here. I mean, Marina Rodriguez and Yan Xiaonan are the last 2 losses for Mackenzie Dern. Marina Rodriguez got absolutely smushed, right, by Jandiroba. I mean, just could not stop her from out grappling her, and Mackenzie Dern was not able to do the same thing. So does that mean that because Jandiroba was able to get off her grappling against Hill, that Mackenzie Dern won't be able to? It's just a question to ask, right? So common opponents and sort of common results, I guess. Jandiroba able to outgrapple both of them, and Mackenzie Dern not being able to get Marina Rodriguez down to the mat. So I think it's a good point. Yeah, she's got Jason Perillo in her corner. She's got some confidence in her hands now. She'll be at least a little dangerous on the feet. And Angela Hill, not really a knockout artist. I saw somebody post Hill by KO. I think our guy MMA Jesus, if I recognize the blue hair, MMA Jesus, blue hair. Doesn't Jesus not dye his hair? Isn't that a thing? You're not supposed to do tie-dye, the Old Testament. Anyway, I do think that Mackenzie Dern could sub her. Like, that's live. That's dead. The rear naked strangle is live, but the takedown's going to be a bitch to get. And I think Hill is out kickboxing her on the feet. I got to meet Hill at Bellator a couple months ago, and she was chilling at the bar. And man, she's kind of tall and big for the weight class too. I could imagine her being a little more tough to grapple with than maybe people give her credit for. So the more I talk about this fight, the more I see why Hill is in it. I guess I won't change my pick. I don't know, AJ. I'm on the fucking fence, dude. I'm not betting on this fight. You?
-175 Mackenzie Dern. So the money line, it's not calling my name. Angela Hill +150. Yeah, the main event is one of those iffy bets, bro. Iffy bet. I think that it's probably going long. So Dern by decision is +190. Dern by sub +150. There's no appealing bet spot for me. If you have Angela Hill as a dog, more power to you. Go get yourself some plus money. But the pick is Dern, but at -175, bro, that's not the line for me. That's not the line for you and me.
How about this for a prediction? I think Angela Hill will be winning this fight. I think she will be winning rounds in this fight. And then I think Mackenzie Dern gets on her back and strangles her. Give me a late Dern submission, but she's going to have to deal with some bloody nose before then. I do imagine Angela Hill being a good round winner here and kind of, starting to win me over the more I dig into it. So tough fight to bet on, but I do got a couple bets I like on this card, and we'll go into those in a second. I guess I'll stick with Mackenzie Dern. Such big respect for her and her coach. I'm a little biased. They live down the street from me, and I've been able to go over there and train a little bit, and got to show them love when I can. But I call it like it is, too. I picked Mike Perry over Luke, and then I had to go talk to Jason and Luke, and luckily they didn't see my pick. It seems like they never yell at me about it anyway. So far so good. I like Dern early in this one because of the significant advantage on the ground. She just has to get it there, AJ.
She has to get it there. We shall see if she does on Saturday. You know what time it is, Mike, though? Lock of the night. Money line lock of the night. Mike Finch, you're up to bat. Let's see if you keep this fire going, baby.
All right. Not only am I picking against AJ with my fucking lock of the night, but it's a dog. We've got to go with lock of the night as the little monster, Vanessa Demopoulos. She's breaking a fucking arm on Saturday. I do believe in Vanessa Demopoulos' ground game, and I think she'll be striking with Carolina fine on the feet. Carolina, not a knockout striker. You don't find that in the division much anyway. She was on that huge skid, bounces back with 2 subpar wins, and people are on her. Fuck that. I've got Vanessa Demopoulos, younger in the game, more hungry. She's going to get the takedown. She's going to get the arm. Vanessa Demopoulos finishes the fight, but you don't even have to bank on that because she's a dog anyway. Lil Monster, money line.
Dog money. It's plus 120 for Little Monster. Also, if you're thinking about playing the sub prop, sitting at plus 350. Listen, my lock of the night is the man who I put money on during the breakdown. It's Michael the Menace Johnson to lay down Carlos Diego Fe. I'm not even saying his name right. That's how we know we're running them over. All right. Plus 133 is what I got it at. We got plus money for Michael Johnson. Diego Fe is minus 153 on the opposite side. Knock out the official call at plus 300, but just money line it. Underdog lock. Listen, 3 out of the last 4 dogs came through. We had one little fumble with a Gracie. It is what it is. I fucked up on that misread, but last week came out with fire Brian Battle. Before then, we had Sergey Pavlovich, Cody Durden. We're getting things flowing. Earlier in the year, I had Aaron Blanchfieldov, and Mike Finch has been hitting some fucking big dogs. A recent one that comes to mind is Edson Barboza. Let's go. Dog money. Let's hit some home runs, guys. We're going dogs.
We're going dogs, folks. I like that pick too, brother. You know I'm on Michael Johnson as well. Those are 2 nice pups. Hope we bring them home from the pound.
Let's go, baby. Dog hunting. And now it's time for the parlay.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time.
Open up your wallet and let's get into some picks.
Mike Finch with the beautiful voice also give us some beautiful picks, man. What are we thinking for these parlays? What are we playing?
Listen, folks, I think Urbina money line against Orion Cosce makes sense. I think Urbina gets the fucking job done. I do believe that he will be able to either win on the feet or if he gets a takedown, be able to dominate on the ground. It's a submission that's the concern against him, and that's not really what he's up against, right? He's up against a wrestler who throws wild-ass punches. I think Urbina does get it done. And, dude, you kind of got me on the Michael Johnson thing, and the line being against Michael Johnson. Do I throw a dog into a parlay? Am I insane? Michael Johnson, throw him in there with our man Urbina, and I think you got yourself a nice little parlay.
Plus 390 for double dog down Michael Johnson with Urbina. Mike, I like that one. I'm going to leave my lock out of it, but I'm with you on Urbina. I think he pulls this one out. And if I'm looking to add something to the slate, I think Barshev gets it done as well. Plus 244 for that one. If you're feeling like an absolute unit and you want to go savage mode and you want to throw Michael Johnson in there too, brings you to plus 700. Be cautious with your parlays, but I feel good about Barshev winning. Stylistically, it's a good matchup. Urbina, I think, is mismarked by the book, so bet that shit soon. And Michael Johnson, big dog money, underdog lock. Let's fucking cash this week, brother. Let's make it happen.
Should we drop some inside info for the people?
What inside info is this?
Want to do it? Omar, quick question. What did I think of Mansour and Mousasi losing their fights and all 4 dogs on the main card of Bellator winning? Well, first of all, if you're betting Bellator, betting dogs has been a wonderful, what do I want to say, endeavor. Okay. That has been very rewarding over the time. Me and my friends had a joke. If you see a huge underdog on Bellator, bet them because they come through. I mean, how big of a dog was the guy who knocked out Pat Downey? Do you remember that? I think mine are plus 2,000, something like that.
It was wide as hell.
And comes through and knocks him out. So obviously I'm not betting on Bellator, but I have friends who do. And one thing that that Gegard Mousasi told me that I guess we could just say now that he's lost his last 2 fights before he fought the title fight against Johnny Human Cheat Code Eblen, Johnny Diamond Hands Eblen. And when I was talking to him before that, I'm like, oh, so you've been training like crazy for this kid, huh? He was like, no. He's like, my hands hurt. He's like, I can't train like I used to, blah, blah, blah. And I remember him sort of going through this I can't train like I used to thing. And I'm thinking like, fuck, he's going to be in there with Johnny Edmen. And he was an underdog. And I did have a friend who bet thousands of dollars on Johnny Edmen and made a lot of money. And then of course, this last one against Fabian Edwards, just looking at the matchup and thinking what Gegard's been saying about how, he's sort of acknowledging that he's aging in this game. Fabian Edwards comes in as an underdog. I'm like, dude, I don't think so, man. I think that Gegard Mousasi is sort of has left his prime a little while ago, maybe not as hungry as some of these younger guys. Sure enough, Fabian Edwards gets the job done. And, I had a friend who AJ, I sent you that ticket, didn't I? That's the one I sent AJ, my friend who's betting against the legend Gegard Mousasi. But there was some money to be made there. Gegard, big favorite against Edwards, big favorite against the champ, Johnny Edmen. And, you could kind of see those things coming if you've been paying attention. So anybody who made some money on those Bellator underdogs, congratulations. I am not surprised.
Bellator made some big fumbles. My biggest one is them fucking signing this deal now with only being a pay-per-view access for Canada. So
you're not happy about this.
I'm pissed. They're losing the Canadian market. Stateside, they're on Showtime, which is a dying network. So to me, they don't want new fans. I don't know. They're just trying to hold on to what's left. I'm pissed about that. I think you got guys that are under the banner that are extremely high level. It's just now much harder to watch them. There's people streaming and whatnot online. I don't think those are easy to find either. So ultimately, they make it a little bit too troubling to watch. I would like to see Bellator maybe on a streaming service, even like how BKFC, like $6 a month. All right. And you get the full library of content.
Right.
Bellator said to me, for even $10 a month, I get every card, I get full access to every previous event, and I get a little bit of, easy access to find the fights. Let's say they make them individual so you can find them. $10 a month, I'll gladly pay it, and I'll be tuning into every Bellator card.
True.
They're not fan-centric to me. Bare Knuckles doing it. Why can't Bellator do that? Why? Makes zero sense. And to me, they don't want us as fans. So to me, I'm just fucking upset. I'm out here almost boycotting it, because I'm thinking the promotion. I feel bad that I'm boycotting on the fighter side, that I'm not watching it, because I want to see some of these fights, but they make it irritating for me. I'll tune into the Nemkov Romero card reluctantly. I'll tune in because I want to see it, but I'm pissed off about that. They're not making it easy to be a fan of their product. One Championship, I'm seeing them in the comments. Everything's on YouTube. I can find everything. I can watch all this stuff. They make it easy to be a fan. They make it exciting to be a fan. Bellator is not fan-centric anymore, and I hope that everybody spreads that message and they get their head out of their ass, and let's bring them back. That's it.
The way I found out about that was AJ texting me. You're like, what the fuck is this? Look, they've been offering the prelims free on YouTube forever. It just seems like a lot of people didn't know they were there, or like weren't, I don't know. But every time I was at a Bellator card, I did the video in there, and what I say, prelims live and free on YouTube. Tune in, and I dropped the link because I always thought that was dope. Just throwing the prelims free on YouTube. Is there an easier place to find them? So they've been free and available for a while now. So just that one little shout. But you want to see them watering the grass. You want to see them thinking like, okay, I want the most fans watching this as possible, not behind a paywall. I understand what you're saying.
Or behind the paywall. I don't mind. But give me a paywall that's Bellator centric. I don't care about Showtime. I would be a grateful fan.
Bellator Fight Pass.
Oh, I want Bellator Fight Pass. And you know what? I think there's a lot of money to be made, but then they make it difficult. How am I supposed to watch tape? Where am I supposed to find all these Bellator fights? I can't find the guy on the prelims last fight now. Maybe I can find his fight on the prelims, I guess, on YouTube. But let's say we got a main card opener.
People don't know, though.
Right. And then, but dude, you have to search. I just want them to make it a little fucking easier for me. So if Bellator can make a streaming service, I'll sign up. I'll start paying for it, and I'll give Bellator a lot more coverage. It's just they're not making it easy to be a fan, bro. That's
my friend who just won all that money betting on Edwards over Mousasi. he did that exactly, like sort of was hit me up like, hey man, I'm trying to find this fight, you know, is there a way you can hunt this down for me, since I guess I'm just Bellator Mike? And it was easy. I just went on YouTube, I found the event, I sent him the prelim card, I sent him the timestamp. It's just people just don't know they're there. The prelims have been free forever, so yeah. Anyway, fun Bellator card
streaming service.
Fun Bellator card, fun fights, good for Fabian Edwards. Fabian Edwards versus the champ, the human fucking cheat code, Johnny Edmen. That's a sick fight.
It's a very good fight, man. And hopefully Bellator gets things sorted before, so the people know, because I think they deserve some promotion, man. They deserve it. Fabian Edwards and
they're in their prime.
It's high level. I'm curious to see who wins that shit, bro.
Leon Edwards said, they said, what's his name? I wish I remembered his name now. Asked Leon Edwards, so what should people know about Fabian? And the first thing Leon said is, he's better than me.
Interesting.
I bet Leon's telling the truth. I bet Fabian's fucking tough in the gym to work out with. So Fabian Edwards versus Johnny Edmen. Sold. Yeah, I can't wait to see that fight.
I like that fight, bro. The Korean Canelo, baby. That's the name I remember.
People don't know, man. He looks so white, right?
Yeah, he does.
Edmen looks the most Caucasian motherfucker you've ever seen. He's half Korean.
That's great. Mike, it's been a pleasure breaking down the card. I look forward to a fun week. People, plenty of content dropping. Keep it locked in. Subscribe. Smash the likes.
Hit the fucking likes.
Make sure you go subscribe to Finch, man. He's got his channel in the description. I got it linked up. Show some love to him. We appreciate you. We'll be back Monday with Moneyline, and you'll see my pretty face all week long. So thank you guys for being here. Much love to Mike. Much love to the people. Peace out, and we'll see you all next time.
In the next one.